Massachusetts, and I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 1230. This is the first in the Republican Amnesia Acts that ignores what happened last year in the Gulf of Mexico. It would force the Department of the Interior to rush into holding new leases in the Gulf of Mexico and off the coast of Virginia, not far from New Jersey, I might add, even though Congress has not enacted a single piece of legislation to improve the safety of offshore drilling. The President's Spill Commission reported that offshore drilling in U.S. waters is 4 times more deadly than drilling elsewhere in the world, even for the same companies. Clearly, there's a safety problem that must be addressed. And I must emphasize, because they've talked about it again and again, they're talking about high oil prices, high prices at the pump. We feel it. Everybody in America feels it. Do they address it? No, they do not address gasoline prices. It actually accelerates the handouts to big oil. This legislation does. And in addition to being silent on safety concerns, this prohibits any further environmental review in the Gulf based on the lessons learned in the Deepwater Horizon last year. That tragedy exposed the woefully inadequate ways in which the environmental reviews had been done in the Gulf of Mexico. Need I remind the Speaker or the majority that there are no walruses to protect in the Gulf of Mexico? As you heard from Mr. Markey, that's the level of quality in the environmental review that they want to apply from here on out. The analysis assumed that blowout preventers were capable of preventing blowouts. We now know, we've learned, they are not. The post-spill investigations have clearly demonstrated that the assumptions of the environmental review are not sufficient. I will offer an amendment shortly to drop the language that would deem this environmental review to be adequate. Despite the poor safety and environmental record accumulated in the Gulf, H.R. 1230 recklessly puts the Atlantic coast.
I yield 30 additional seconds. The gentleman is recognized for an additional half minute.
H.R. 1230 recklessly puts the Atlantic coast at risk of experiencing an oil spill such as what we've seen before. That's why I call this the Amnesia Act. There are 2 more bills that we will be seeing here on the floor that are similar. This is not in the interest of the U.S. consumer. It is not in interest of fishermen. It is not in the interest of coastal residents. This is not in the interest of America.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I am pleased to yield